Hey, it's Lester Martin again from Starburst Academy. We're going to keep on pushing on in our lab number 3 of our DBT Cloud and Starburst Galaxy workshop. This one is, in fact, just hopefully the final integration lab. This is just go ahead and create a DBT Cloud account and link it up, connect it up to our Galaxy instance. So I will do myself a little favor, drag things over, pull up the lab guide that you have access to from the blog post mentioned in the description below this video. All right, so really create an account in DBT Cloud and link it up to Galaxy that we've been playing with. It says, hey, go over to getdbt.com, click that free account button, follow whatever it says to do, and then when you get to the end, or when you get to this point of getting started, take a pause, and then we'll make sure the screen still looks the same at that point. So create a free account. I'm going to go ahead and put email. We're going to use the same one, Lester, Texas at hotmail.com. Lester, last name Texas. Lester, Texas. That's our company name. Password. Might as well use the same password we've been setting. Hopefully I know what that is. I'll find out. I think so. And how do we hear about DBT or others? Yeah, probably something like a podcast. Agrees to some terms of use. Create an account. And we'll see what's next for us. We don't need that to help us. It dropped us. Actually, it dropped us into something that I'm logged in somewhere else. So this is not what I wanted. So I'll take a pause and see if I can get out of this. I was trying to create a brand new ID. 1 second. All right, I was able to actually create the Lester, Texas, as you might see in the upper right. It was just my browser remembering passwords from the account I usually use. So back to my notes, I said, follow all the instructions until you get to some kind of welcome page. So I see this is a information, so I close that out, and I will probably stop right there. It says complete project setup. Well, maybe I will look a little harder. Actually, I want to do this anyway, so let me just adjust the notes. It does pick up right here, so we're cleaning up our lab as we go. All right, I just removed a few items from step 1. To recap, it just says create the account like I just did. And once you get landed there, I actually end up on this complete project setup page, which I put a screenshot there. So we'll stop there. And step 2 is actually going to say, go back to Starburst Galaxy. And in fact, go over to the clusters left menu item and pick on the connection info button to the far right of the DBT cluster. See if we can figure that out. So this top row is a DBT cluster. There's that button, connection info. And what connection info is showing you, in fact, we're probably going to tell you first thing to do is go ahead and toggle, let's say connection info for, and we'll just say DBT. So it's going to give you just the relevant details. It's going to say, hey, this user, host, and port are information you're going to need in a minute. So either copy and paste them or just leave this up on the Starburst Galaxy page, and we'll use them now when we switch back in step 3 over to the DBT console. And it says we should look for a choose a connection section. Choose a connection section. Kind of rhymes. All right, choose a connection. Guess what? We want to pick Starburst, aka Trino compatible right there. Starburst, and probably just say next. Yeah, Starburst next. Now these notes are just going to tell us what we need to fill in there. There's some notes about DBT projects only having a single connection, and it's worth calling out that that's okay with us because, the connection is to Starburst, and Starburst has all of the catalogs that are available to this particular user. Anyway, so we're not really bound by that limitation when we connect DBT with Starburst Galaxy. But something to note when you're using other data sources. Okay, so provide a meaningful name. Looks like we're going to call it Starburst Galaxy, then fill in our host and port and password. So meaningful name, Starburst Galaxy. and the host. Again, I'm just going to lift and shift these. There's the host. Port is 443 already. Yep. Credentials. I think that's as far as we got there. The host and the port. Now it says copy your username and password. It's making a big call out that it may already have put something in here. But either way, go copy what you see over here, because you need this / role name. In this case, / account name is the one we're using. And then the password ought to be the password. Now I think the password I have there, well, I'll just type it in. See if I can remember all my passwords. All right, so our username and password. What else should we want to do? It says, hey, we also need a catalog. And the catalog that we're going to connect to is the one we already had, dbt, I think we called it _ quick start. So this is the overarching catalog that's connected to S3, so on and so forth. And then it says, how about the schema? Now, schema is where we're going to do any writes. So we're going to be able to read from the LAN schema that's in that catalog and the information that's in Postgres, just because of Starburst having that ability. But let's create a new schema. It's going to start with the word structure. In fact, we're going to use the format something like structure, our name, Lester Martin, and then just some arbitrary 8, 9 letters and combination. So not a GUID, but something short and sweet. So I'll say XYZ 789. That'll be what mine will be. And then it says, so there's an example of what we're talking about here. Leave the rest default and 6, and everybody's good. And we want to test that out. So test that connection. We should have said that in there. Yep, test the connection button. And if it all goes well, it's going to get to this complete phase here in a moment. So setup. We're testing the connection now, and hopefully in a few more seconds, there we go. Complete. Test is completing successfully. We're good to go. Happy. Okay. To push on, then what we need to do is, right here, you're good to go. It says hit the next button. Now we're going to set up a repository. This is the place we're going to keep our code and all that. There's some notes in here and there about different types. We're going to use the embedded one that is part of DBT Cloud. So we'll call mine Lester Texas DBT repo. Lester Texas DBT repo. Yeah, why not? And leave it managed, and we'll hit create. All right. When that gets finished, really, I think that's it. We're just waiting for it to finish. Again, some more notes about other repository or systems like Git and others that you can do to store this stuff. But ultimately, we're trying to get to the screen. I'm going to hit don't save that. We're trying to get to this. Your project is ready, which is what we'll see in the next lab as well. So we got there. Let's pinch off this here video and do another one for lab number 4.